It is Thursday, of course, on January 4, 2024. A beautiful day to know that you are there to watch a 45 morning show. I just hope that you're always thanking God for life, at least if not for nothing, for witnessing this beautiful day. I'm Adenike Owoye Ajiboye, welcoming you to U45 Morning Show.
I am Osage Solomon. Good morning. Welcome.
All right, and I am Shegun Dinola Adeyemi. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Good morning and welcome once again.
Yes, the new 45 morning show, you know how we help to drive your day. And today will not be any different, as we will be looking at the dailies in our newspaper review segment. And of course, today we want to also look at a very critical issue facing Nigeria. This time around, we will be taking you to Edo, Benin City, where cult clashes is really a concern. A lot of innocent Nigerians have been killed in that particular region. So on the program today, we will look at this. Of course, we have a security expert who will be joining us to look at this because this very cultism in Edo, Benin City, has now spread beyond just the tertiary institution. It is now gone down to primary and secondary school, and this really is worrisome just at the time Nigeria is talking about how we will nip in the bud insecurity. Here we are talking about youths in their vibrant age engaging in cultism. This is bad for us. Then, of course, as usual, the time you've been waiting for the U45 morning show, we will also bring to you Ash trends and tags. And this and many more is what will form the basis of a U45 morning show today. Another warm welcome to the program. Without much ado, Shegun, let's quickly see what is going on the dailies.
All right, straight up we'll start with the Daily Trust, and the main headline says robbers kill 4 in shopping mall near Abuja. And then the writer says they forced customer to lay flat on the ground, survivor says. Another writer says it was like a dream. Another writer says our operatives responded on time. That's coming from the Nigerian police force. I mean, it's still the Ilotai season. It's just the 4th of January, and people are not resting. The robbers are going all out. But then the writer that says police responded in good time, that means that's a good thing. Yeah. We should applaud them.
Well, yes, I think the police should be commended, at least for responding on time, because this is what a lot of Nigerians are expecting from the police. So I think to an extent they've been able to live up to expectation. Unlike before now, when people would even say, who are the robbers? Is it not the same police officers? But of course, with these kind of officers and this kind of attack being foiled to an extent, I think this is a new police that we are seeing right here, and I think kudos should go to the IGP of police, Kayode Egbetokun. So this for me shows that indeed somebody has continued to engage in training and retraining of the rank and file of the police, and I think this should be really commended. However, Shegun, just at the point we're still talking about the challenge of the economy dwindling and insecurity. Robbers are now again striking. We are still talking about the northern part. Still talking. We have not forgotten what happened in Plateau State, yes, and here we are again talking about robbers. But the question is, should we even be surprised when the economy is really biting the people? And interestingly, even when the president was given his speech, his broadcast on January 1st, I was happy that he came to terms with the reality on ground. I say that a lot of Nigerians are even asking that is this the kind of renewed hope that he's promised the people, and he said he can understand the groaning of Nigerians. So for me, it shows that we have a president that is in tune with reality of our time. But being in tune with reality of our time is not enough. what we are crying out, or what we are saying, and what Nigerians are saying is, what is the measure that you will embrace in order to, make the economy be bearable, be something that Nigerians can be proud of. When the economy is bad, it's only natural that crime is going to increase. So I'm not surprised about this robbers attack. More is still going to come. My appeal to the Nigerian police force is that the internal security, they must take with utmost importance, and they need to be on their toes. When the economy is bad, you expect high number of criminally minded elements.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And then from the presidential speech concerning the New Year's broadcast, now we saw a video where the Prime Minister of UK actually went to train stations, went to the paramedics department. She was just going to stores. That is how you can actually have a one-on-one what's the word again?
One-on-one communication.
Yes, with the people. So, and that is how you will feel the pain of the people. You see what they are going through because you are there. Do you understand? You don't just sit in one convoy because your SSA and media write something for you, you just read out.
Do you know what, Sheldon? Sorry, I'm going to cut in there. Okay, now seeing the Prime Minister of UK, he could easily walk freely. We didn't see any orderlies following him around. Do you know why? It is because all hands on deck to ensure that they have a secured country. Exactly. Now, our public office holders here, they know that the country is not safe. So, have you wondered why the sitting president has not visited Plateau State ever? This is for you to know that even the president knows that he is not safe. Even he himself cannot vouch for the security of the nation in which he is the number one president, number one citizen. And do you blame him? The truth of the matter is, we run a country where everybody feel once is this region's turn, it is our turn. They start advising him, don't go there. Maybe the Hausas want to kill you. The Igbos, they might be after your life. And so we are not sure of ourselves and sure of our environment. So maybe that's the reason why the president hasn't visited there. So how do we begin the conversation? How do we begin to get it right? I think somebody needs to set the agenda right for this very government.
I think to get it right, first of all, you need to make sure that the public offices is not, what's the word? It's not a juicy position, right? There is no hardship allowance for you. There is no newspaper allowance of 1 million naira for you. If you're going there to serve, you're going there to work. If you know that you cannot do it, don't go. Most developed countries, that is what they do.
I've always advocated for that.
You know, that's what
they should be like teachers, where their reward should be in heaven. The cost of governance and all of that is too expensive and too attractive here in Africa, and it's attracting a lot of wrong minds and criminally minded individuals. You see some of our public office holders, they were ex-cultists, ex-Aluta Continua, and back in the university. So I mean, if you want to make quick money in Nigeria currently, it's just going to politics. And that's a wrong mindset. It's not like that in other climes, and no wonder the Nigerian civil service system is still one of the highest paid in the world currently. And that's quite unfortunate. So until we get that right and make it like this should be truly public servants who come here and work and fix this nation, we will keep attracting the wrong people.
And I totally agree with that. All right, quickly moving on. Atop the top burner, my successors plunged Nigeria into debt burden of Obasanjo. So now we know there was other one I saw. There was one new headline I saw where it said Obasanjo said there is no hope for the next generation. I mean, it's glaring, it's obvious that everyone is in this together. We're all bearing the brunt together. But then the people in politics, they're not feeling it.
You know what? Number one, I think kudos also should be given to OBJ, former president of this very nation, and also once upon a time, one-time head of state of this very country. You remember that during OBJ, you had the Minister of the Economy in person of Okonjo Iweala, and you have seen how she has risen and where she are. We are not talking of international politics now, as she's above there. I remember that this his regime or his era saved a lot of money for Nigeria. As much as we want to talk about the difference between the political parties, PDP and APC, but you and I know what it obtains. We know the reality. And I always say something, there's no point trying to ice the cake any longer, because every Nigerian is not feeling the burden of this bad economy. Yes. And I think that this former president OBJ is referring to from the regime of maybe Goodluck Jonathan, yes. Which is also PDP, yes. And down to Muhammadu Buhari, and now in the hands of President Bola Tinubu. So which means that he's now speaking from the point of view of an elder statesman. So this time around, it has gotten to a point where we cannot attach, political interest any longer, sentiments. It is about time we call a spade, because everybody should be interested in the unity and the progress of Nigeria. All right. So truly, Obasanjo is right to an extent. At least he was during his tenure that he brought in EFCC. Even if some even say that the FCC was being used for their enemies, but to an extent, we saw those who were corrupt being brought to book, and these monies were being, we were seeing. So the question I kept asking myself, even during the last administration, is we hear of so much funds are being, retrieved from these corrupt public officers, and the economy continues to get bad. And I ask myself, where are all of these dollars? Where are all of these nairas being seized? Because the impact is not being felt on the economy. So it tells you that is a case of what the Yorubas will call onegbe, onegda. It's like there's a strong corruption, you understand, yeah. In which even the anti-graft agencies, you can't even vouch for them to say that indeed they are also corruption free. Yes. You remember that even Bawa was also being called out to resign. So many, I really don't know where and how we're going to go about, ensuring that this country is on the right path.
Like I said, if we don't make the offices, if we don't make it juicy, right, they will not want to go. And then when we have the right leader, at the end of affair, every other person will sit right. I just believe that's it.
Segun, if you recall, the same government, which was the previous government, Buhari's government, said that their vision was to fight corruption. Now, after 8 years, Nuhu Ribadu came out to say Buhari's government bankrupted Nigeria.
The same government that wanted to.
You understand? So my concern here is that Nigeria has not been blessed with visionary leaders.
Yes.
Our leaders have not been visionary enough. And now these countries where we borrow funds from, monies from, they know that we don't use these monies to develop our nation. Then why do they keep dispersing this money? Because it is a subtle way of colonialism. And it is only a leader who is a visionary that can see, through the eye of a needle. Early last month, this same Buhari advised the current President Tinubu that continuous borrowing will drown this economy.
Borrowing that he did all through his tenure.
Yeah, but because he has seen the antecedent already in 8 months, he's seen what Tinubu is trying to do with borrowing. And if you give Tinubu 8 more years, only God will help us.
All right, well, finally, it says, I don't know, this one worries everyone. Fears over new petrol price hike, and then the writer says marketers plot 1,200 naira per liter. Another writer says no need to panic, NNPCL.
NNPCL, they're always out there to calm our nerves. You know, they are always there, you know, allaying the fears of Nigerians every time. They say that there's every likely tendency that the price of fuel will increase. They come out and debunk it. And what we see at the end of the day is that this fuel, the price will eventually be increased.
Yes.
And there's nothing Nigerians can do. You know, this morning I came in a public transport, and I tell you what, many of the transporters increased their fare. You know, you can't come out now in Nigeria and you say that you have your transportation fare planned. I mean, you're just joking. You're just one clown. Because if you get there, if you're not careful, you don't have enough cash in your pocket, it means that you might end up being a corporate beggar. Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to transportation in this country, I don't know elsewhere, but in Nigeria, anything can happen. They just come up, even by, it can be higher by 10%, and you'll be shocked, you know. It's terrible, but I know that definitely the price of fuel is likely to increase. So I don't think Nigerians should be carried away with what NNPC is saying. NNPCL is just the normal thing for them to say, just like even when the president come out to calm your nerves. After all, the president has come out to say that a lot will be done. But you see, talk is cheap. That's what I say all the time. What will happen is, of all that has been said, how many of it will be implemented? You understand? So the situation of this country is like also, you know, embarking on capital projects, and at the end of the day, you don't make plans for maintenance of those infrastructures. Exactly. And that's why at the end of the day, we keep merry-go-round in the same circle. You come back again, and then they will.
So my question is, do they not know about all of these things?
Why wouldn't they know when they are not deaf, when they are not dumb?
Nitel was brought down to ashes. NEPA brought down to ashes. That means there is nothing that was established for the federation that is standing.
See, Shegun, let me tell you what is really happening in this country. It's about economic sabotage. These people, different individuals, are in charge, and they look at how they will sabotage the effort of the government. And the reason is not far-fetched. Every Nigerian, to an extent, are selfish. It's about selfish interest.
Yes.
And so when you come in, some people in there will come and give you the idea of how you can siphon money. Do you understand? So they come up and say, so let's say I will grant that particular project or activities. So we now come and say this is the solution to it. Seriously? And government will have no choice than to approve it. Meanwhile, they are still the same person who sent people there to destroy it. You see, until we have a very strong punitive measure in place,
yes,
where people will go to prison, and if it's possible for them to die there, let them die there. This is the only way people can learn and the country can move forward.
I totally agree with you.
All right, straight to the Punch newspaper. The main headline says APC promises heavy defeat as Atiku eyes 2027 presidential bid. And the writer says Atiku has wisdom, capacity, energy, and will run in 2027, says Aid. PDP welcome ex-VP and others. Another writer says APC says ex-VP will be defeated again. Obi will contest and Atiku should support him. Labour Party insists. Our politicians are ready.
I don't understand.
Ready to throw blows.
Atiku Abubakar has been in this space for so long, trying to become president. I mean, so my concern is, if Atiku eventually wins, what is planned for the country? I mean, he has tried, this is like his 4th or 5th time, he's trying to win an election. You don't have to be a president to help the country.
Don't tell that to the black man.
Shego, I disagree, all right? I disagree. And the reason is, I can remember at a point in time when a Winners Chapel wanted to take up the project of, that road, that Songo Road or something leading to their place. You know, his effort was being frustrated, all right? So a lot of times in this climb in this country, you need to be there. You need to be in government for you to make certain decision, for you to have a free flow, for you to have your way. If you're not there, you're not there. Now, talking about Atiku, I'm not surprised if the former immediate former president Muhammadu Buhari could contest for how many times? He contested how many times? And eventually, he became the president of Nigeria. So it means that the thing is, don't stop doing it. Don't stop believing in yourself. Keep pushing until you get to the finish line. So this is the case with Atiku Abubakar. He feels, and then again, see, I don't feel we should discourage him. You know why? Sometimes the devil you know might just be better than the angel you don't know. Yes, there are so many reasons why a lot of people feel that Atiku should not be there, but we never can tell. He might have, repented. He might feel that, because see, the question I ask myself: at what age would you come? Because if our politicians have conscience, to an extent, there are ages you get to that you can't afford to misbehave. Exactly. You should be thinking about your heaven. Exactly. You understand? But unfortunately, they just go there and there's nothing really to write home about. And remember that these political parties, the likes of Atiku, Labour Party, they've said they were coming together to form another, they call it movement, right? And so maybe this is the time, and Atiku is still going to run for president.
All right, moving on the Punch newspaper, another story says, police return rescued trafficked children to Bauchi. That's on page 7. Another story says, federal government eyes 750,000 jobs with gas initiative. This is a good one from the presidency. I just hope they are able to implement it, and it's not all talk like we saw from the former administration, where thousands of jobs were promised, audio jobs were promised to Nigerians, and that never saw the light of the day. Okay, so finally on the Punch newspaper, it says, President will return Bayelsa oil field taken under Buhari, and that's according to the minister. You find that on page 27.
All right, now we're still staying with the front page newspaper headlines. This time around, I want to quickly look at the Nigerian Tribune, and the major headline on the Nigerian Tribune reads, 2024 budget designed to take care of ruling class. And we're saying this, Trade Union Congress, TUC. For more details on the story, you get it on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. On the right there, one of it reads, once inflation crashed from 28.20% to 9.4%. The month's implementation of all agreements with government insists 2023 was year of lost opportunities and dashed hopes. Well, this is the Trade Union Congress talking. I can see another strike looming because it means that maybe they're feeling that the government has forgotten that they have not called off their strike, but they have only suspended it. So let's watch and see what will happen. And now another headlines, the same with the Nigerian Tribune reads, Ondo government suspends local government and local council development area chairman. For more details, you get the Nigerian Tribune. You find the story on page 25. Another headline, still staying with the Nigerian Tribune, reads, Fan keeps a mom 7 months after thieves carted away Lagos airport cables. That story is on page 20 of the Nigerian Tribune. I'm sure you're very conversant with that very story where the cables were being carted away, and now the minister is saying that Fan has kept quiet for some times now. So who do we blame for this? Is it really going to be Fan? But even if Fan is talking, where are the thieves? Why haven't those thieves been brought to book? That is the country that we live in. Let's hope that the minister will be able to fish them out. And now another headline reads, 2024 budget, NAS gets highest location in 25 years. Okay, whose picture is here is the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. Well, this is all that will be taken on the Nigerian Tribune. But before I close the newspaper segment review, there is another important one. With license, Nigerians can bear arms. I'm saying this, so now he's talking, saying this to the public. It is a legal practitioner, senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, talking again that if governments can license, Nigerians can give license, the Nigerians can arm themselves. Shego, I would have loved for us to look at this issue, but of course, because of time, we need to go into a discussion segment. So, right about now, we'll take a short break because after which our guests will be here for us to look at court clashes in Edo, Benin City. So let's take this short break for a breakdown and we'll be right back. Join us again.
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
We need to remove him, otherwise we are going to be in trouble. You must kill him today, not tomorrow. Today!
There's a handsome prize on your head. And if you can top it, you walk free.
She's even awake. She's awake?
Will you stop that? And don't you dare repeat that again.
What is she doing?
I don't know.
My son is nowhere to be found and you asked me to relax. I can't.
So we're not going to eat?
You have to eat.
Look at you. So you actually want to eat that food? The way this food is smelling, I think it's really going to be delicious.
Oh my son! Oh my son!
What are you doing here?
I will not let you send her out.
She's your rival, you know.
I know she's your wife, and I know it's not right for you to treat her like that.
You heard me. Send yourself out before I come back to this house.
High Chief Major General Jones. Good evening.
What is good about this evening? Huh?
What happened now?
Don't mind them. You're not going anywhere. You stay.
Please. Please. What are you doing out of bed?
I needed a drink.
You could have called me.
I'm not the father of a thief. And that is what your son is. A thief. Stole the document to my house and sold it. And I swear, he's going to rot in jail.
It's okay, baby.
It's not okay.
Hello? Hello?
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
I'm not doing
Na because you dey fight all of them, It is always good to live in peace with our neighbor.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yay! 25 years.
When people from different backgrounds live together, there is bound to be dispute of boundary, shared amenities. Your favorite TV comedy drama is now wearing a new look as Face to Face rebranded.
Hi, Ajani. Yes, sir. There is problem in the house. Your brother wife, the carry man, come house.
Lie. It no go happen. My brother wife. See, now me supposed to inherit that woman. No.
Baby Julius.
Baby
Julius. Baby.
Wait. I've been expecting this. I've been expecting this.
Starring your favorite star actors, Face to Face rebranded.
Mama Sule, if you don't get this your rubbish off my precious baby now, I will throw it away.
It's Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru, your host with the most. Ricky is a virgin. Why are you virginity?
I like food and I eat a lot, and you don't really see my body.
Where's the eat a lot?
You don't see my body, that's a special thing.
What's the female for Philip?
Philip. It can't be Philippines. It can't be Filipina.
Philomena. Paula. Tunde?
Tunde, no.
Like I tell people, it's for you to be great in whatever you do. You have to stay humble and believe that you are a learner.
Have you ever been asked to play a romantic role?
Of course, I've played romantic roles.
It's so glad to have you back, and you're still watching U45 Morning Show. Yes, it is our discussion segment. Like I told you earlier, that today the focus is on Edo, Benin City. This time around, we are looking at the challenge facing them there. Still talking about insecurity in Nigeria. A lot of people are unaware that in Benin, in Edo, basically, what they're battling with there is occultism, cult clashes here and there. And I think this started about 2021, and it continues, and it's been rearing its ugly head, and it has gotten to an alarming state where right now the citizens in Edo, the residents, cannot sleep with their two eyes closed. They are afraid because they don't know when these rival occult groups will strike. And when they strike, it isn't good if it is just they themselves that they are killing, but this time around even innocent Nigerians. And it is not just tertiary institution, it has now gone beyond tertiary institution. They are now also initiating primary school students and also secondary school students. So today, to help us take a closer look at this, we're now being joined by a security expert, Bright Iweka. Good morning, good to see you, and many thanks for coming on U45 Morning Show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, beautiful. Bright Iweka, let's just hit the nail on the head. I'm sure you are very conversant with that very terrain. Firstly, what's your reaction on these cult clashes that is now making residents afraid of their lives?
Is a worrisome trend. Unfortunately, this has been going on for a while now, and it appears to be unabated. like you rightly said, it didn't start just recently. It's been on. I mean, for several years, it used to be something that is synonymous with campus life. And you have multiplicity of rival gangs fighting against themselves, carrying out all kinds of violent activities. But in recent years, last 5 to 10 years, we found a trend where these cult activities have now extended to secondary schools and primary schools, and we now find them even on the streets. And it's a worrisome trend, especially given the fact that the victims, the level of casualty is within the age range of very energetic and young people. These are what we tag as the future, the leaders of tomorrow, and then they are getting cut down in their prime because of this kind of activities. Truly is a worrisome development, and it's something that should call for urgent response from all stakeholders.
All right, talking about urgent response, I think right about now, let's quickly take a listen to what the governor of that very state is saying. I'm talking about Governor Godwin Obaseki, because recently he came out to, talked about what he is doing, his plans in order to cope this very cultism. Let's quickly take a listen and we'll be right back.
Governor Obaseki speaks of ongoing efforts to reduce crime, criminality to the barest minimum, and put a stop to cult-related clashes.
For most of 2023, Edo State remained relatively safe. However, in the last few days, we have witnessed cult-related killings. The Edo State government will not tolerate any acts that can breach the security which the state currently enjoys. Working with the Office of Inspector General of Police, we have commenced investigations, arrest, and prosecution of sponsors and those who mastermind cult-related killings.
All right, that is the governor there speaking, Godwin Obaseki, on his plan to curb the activities of cultists in that very state. Let me also let you know that our guest is still here, and my co-presenter, Patience Willie, is also here for us to look at this discussion segment together.
It's really, thank you very much. I can see the touch of red in your dress. You look very beautiful. And what I'll add about this Edo thing is that it's really very, very sad. How it degenerated to this point is really, really appalling. Because it takes the homes, the churches, the religious sectors, the schools to curb this.
Okay,
and the government, and you are in the best position to give us two more light on this topic.
It's actually a concerted effort. A lot of times when people misbehave, we tend to throw it squarely on the shoulder of the parents. They say, "Oh, it's poor parenting, is all that." But we found people who came from, in fact, historically, and with enough data to support this, many of those who actually lead these cult gangs on campuses and in various places, initially, not now, were children of very renowned personalities, the rich people, children of military officers, police officers. That's the record, that's the data we have, looking at historical data. But today you find all kinds of people You know, the rich, the poor, the beautiful, the ugly, everybody's just involved. So it is not something that should be placed squarely on the shoulder of parents. It is the entire society. They say it takes a village
to train a child.
To raise a child. And if that is true, that means we're talking about all stakeholders, the government, the family system, the community, and when we say government, we're talking about all levels of government, from the streets, associations, to ward level, to local government level, to state level, and then the role of NGOs. So it's something that everyone should be involved in, and it is very worrisome. If you taking the case of Edo State, for example, the last few weeks of 2023 recorded very high number of casualties.
Especially from July.
Yes.
I remember when the AEs, that are somebody who was killed.
But
even the journalist.
Yes, the journalist was cut down, and just a few days ago we had 2 or 3 young people cut down. It is something that should stop. It got to stop. And from what the governor said, it means that he's leveraging the infrastructure of the Nigerian police force, starting from the HQ. And I know that Edo State has their own security network. I think it's called Edo State Security Network or something like that. And there are other, vigilante groups that are also involved. I think that this is something that everybody needs to be hands-on about. He made mention of sponsors. There are sponsors.
Sponsors, yes.
There are godfathers. And some of these sponsors are well-known figures, political figures, economic figures, and we know them. That's one of the beauty of having community policing, because it gives the law enforcement agencies the opportunity to be on the ground, and they can relate with people and gather sufficient intelligence to aid crime fighting and crime mitigation. So it is not as bad as it is not something that we cannot handle. We just need the right people to spearhead the campaign, to spearhead the assault against these vices, so that it can be nipped in the bud. This is the beginning of the new year.
All right, you have just said that we need the right people, to spearhead the campaign against cultism in that particular state. But the question is, do you think that, because I was about to ask you what you think about the statement of the governor of that state, do you think that his words can really be backed with action? Because a lot of times you find that all of these cultists, because we really need to know how we got to this point where they are now doing this with impunity. You now see these cultists, they dress in their color and they are women, confidence everywhere. Are we saying that the police are not saying that? Are we saying that the Edo security is not saying them? And when we now even talk about community policing, like you said, when they already have their own security and they cannot curtail what is happening, they can't contain it. So even if we bring community policing, how are we certain that they will be able, to achieve cultist reduced?
First, let's take the word of the governor for it. He is the chief security officer of the state, and so we can hold him responsible for the security condition of the state. But we know that he is not the one who is on the field. So you have different law enforcement agencies. We have the Nigerian Police Force, we have the Nigerian Army, we have NSCDC, we have many other plethora of agencies that are involved. What I think should be done after this kind of press comments and all that is to match those words with action. Like, first of all, setting up what I consider to be an interagency joint task force that will involve the Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Army, the NSCDC, and the NDLEA. Why is this important? Why the police is involved in the street mopping of these guys, backed up with the Nigerian Army if it is required, and then using the NSCDC to handle areas that has to do with infrastructure and bushes and forests and all that. The NDLEA is very key because people who get involved in criminal activities like this, the majority of them are under the influence. These guys, they take all kinds of substances, they take all kinds of drugs, and they are very young people. And so why we have the NDLEA, for instance, fighting these menace from the side of drug use and abuse and the indiscriminate distribution and illegal distribution of drugs and so on and so forth. The police is combating it from the side of intelligence and driving, community engagement, working with community leaders, and identifying these criminals, especially beginning from the top, and then apprehending them. And then we have, because sometimes these guys are violent, they're also very well armed. And so it has to be a concerted effort. When this happens, and there is pressure on these groups of criminals, you will find, listen, this was 10, 15 years ago, it was this bad. But actions were taken. From the crime fighting perspective, from the judicial perspective, actions were taken. And these things reduced drastically. And after a while, it seemed as though we all rested on our hours, and now they are all back with full force. So something needs to be done holistically from all fronts so that we can really address this matter as quickly as possible.
There's a question I'd like to ask, and I want to know what makes Edo State particularly vulnerable to cultism and gang violence, because there's cultists all over the country, but Edo State's condition seems to be like out.
I don't think that the situation is peculiar to Edo State. It's just that this recent weeks seem to have brought Edo State into the bad light. There is court activities in virtually every state of the federation. In fact, this kind of wanton killing is even worse off in the east and in many other places. But that is not to excuse the fact that this is worrisome. However, the issue is that where we have a preponderance of matters like this, and action is not taken as quickly as it should by all stakeholders, then this culture of violence seems to permeate. And so you find, whether they are just young people or even children, that violent tendency is just there. And then they have access to weapons.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to cut in there. These cultists have weapons in their hands. I'm wondering because some school of thoughts believe that these arms in the hands of these young men and ladies is no thanks to the politicians. And you wonder how, yes, we had election that very year. Talking about proliferation of arms, a lot of people believe that the politicians use them during election, and at the end of the day, they fail to take these arms from them. So could it be that the situation became worse in this very 2023 as a result of the election that we had that year?
Well, every election year has its peculiarities. Okay, the months leading to election year, the election year itself, and then post-election, you find the trend where you have a lot of arms inflow into the area where there will be elections, because of course people believe in violence. People don't longer believe in credibility. If you are going to go ask for the people to vote for you, it should be on the basis of merit. But where you have to rely on violence to be able to secure votes, it means that we don't have anything to offer, and that has been the trend. So these arms, however, are illegal. They are not legitimately acquired weapons. So you have the responsibility of the customs, for example, because these weapons are coming in from our land and sea borders. So we have to have collaboration with the customs, we have to have collaboration with immigration, we have to have collaboration with everybody in that entire value chain. Okay, so because once the weapons get into the country or into that particular locality, if only God knows what they'll do with it. And so you find this cycle of violence continually. Now, how do you mop up weapons that you have no idea whether they exist in the first place? How do you mop up weapons that you didn't know how they got into the country in the first place? It is only after apprehending criminals that you can think of mopping up. We have had occasions where government have thrown the option of amnesty, asking people to
down their weapons.
Their weapons, illegally acquired weapons for some sort of, whatever it was. But the truth is that the entire system or process has not been truly honest and transparent. So we find if I have acquired 20 assorted weapons and I decided to submit 5, how do you know that I have submitted everything I have? So because again, the people who are also involved do not trust the system. So they are not sure whether those who are asking them to return their weapons will keep to their side of the bargain. And the amnesty program of the Niger Delta in the last couple of years
during Jonathan's regime.
So yes, it is a testament to that. So that's the same scenario that's playing out across the length and breadth of our country. It's not just cops. What about the so-called headsmen attacks that we find in many places? How does this weapon come from?
Okay, as a security expert, I want to put this straight to you. We all know how the Boko Haram started from, I'm trying to remember the name of the leader then, Muhammad Yusuf. And later it became what we are dealing with, and it's been pretty difficult for government to be able to find solution to Boko Haram. With what is happening in Edo State, do you think that this is not another pointer that we might be having another Boko Haram from that region? If not, tell me the reason. And 2, what would be your advice to the people in that very state, talking about parents and even the institutions? Because for me, I'm just wondering how all of these activities are going on. There's no way these institutions will say that they don't know about it. Most likely their hands are tied, and eventually, who knows, maybe they are even hobnobbing with the politicians and even the security agencies.
Well, I don't know if it is right to draw comparison between Boko Haram and terrorism and then this kind of cult-related clashes. Even though both scenarios involve violence and bloodshed, but they are not the same. Okay, terrorism is terrorism, and we have a very clear idea of what terrorism is. Those who are involved in terrorism. Now, cult activities, starting with just cult activities, and then the resultant effect of uncontrolled cult activity like the killing, the rivalry, and all of that. Those are all purely criminal issues that can be dealt with through policing, effective policing, intelligence-led policing, community engagement, of course, civil society engagement as well, through the various non-governmental channels that we can use to engage people. That's why I said that we have to have a holistic approach that should involve all stakeholders, from the family, every family lives in the street. Every street has a committee, like a committee of elders in the street. The same thing with every ward, every local government. So there is a system of accountability that exists. Now, whether these systems are strengthened enough to be able to hold people in those communities accountable is a different thing. Now, this is why we have to look at it from both sides. From the side of crime fighting, from the side of judicial innovations, so that we can start looking at the laws and how we can tighten the laws and how we can strengthen the laws to truly hold people accountable and things like that. So we have to begin to look at that very critically. And the earlier we do that, the best for all of us. We cannot continue to lose our young people.
So basically, you don't see this cultism, becoming or giving us another Boko Haram to deal with.
It is not. If you know how various organizations evolve, it's very different. So this is not the forum for discussing that. So it cannot be. But nevertheless, it's something that needs to be addressed.
It must be addressed, and I just hope that I know that you came from that very region. I just hope you're not speaking based on optimism, hope, I believe.
We have to have some measure of hope.
Oh,
no matter
okay.
how bad the situation is, you have to have hope. And we hope that the government will take the right step. We hope that well-meaning citizens, indigenous of Edo State will take actions and they will intervene, by way of providing solutions. You see, we cannot leave it to the government alone. Everybody must be involved. Those who love the state, those who love Nigeria should be involved.
All right, and I hope that just like the president has also promised us renewed hope, I hope that indeed our hope can be rekindled. All right, Bryce Eweke, I'm not sorry, I will let you go now. There's been an issue on the front burner, and the issue is how we'll be able, how the country will work towards nibbing in the bud insecurity. We're aware of what happened in Plateau State. Now a lot of people are calling for Nigerians to arm themselves because a lot of people feel that the reason for which these insurgents have continued to launch attacks is because the ordinary citizens or innocent citizens do not have the rights to carry arms. And again, in the papers today, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, also said that with license, why can't Nigerians bear arms? What's your take on this call?
Well, people have the right to have the constitutional position for every Nigerian is the right to life. Okay, so it's part of fundamental human rights. And if that right is threatened, I believe you have the right under the law to yourself. But the scope of that defense is where we see how the law. Now, whether you need to be armed to be able to do that, or there are some other means that you can defend yourself, or there are some threats of any kind, is something that we are still dealing with now. And we know that in this country, as in many countries, people are not allowed to just say, I have to even in the civilized kind where they have systems and structures for ensuring that people have or acquire arms to legitimately, there are still restrictions. Okay? So I think that why the call for self-defense is loud and getting louder by the day, and there seem to be enough evidence to suggest that people should defend themselves. We need to have a system and a procedure that is allows that to happen, and it has to most likely involve some constitutional amendments. For now, the law doesn't depend on that.
Okay, you see, the state's insecurity in this country has reached. I think actually the license should be given for Nigerians to bear arms. You know why I'm saying that? In Israel, we saw a newscaster going to cast, and she had there is a weapon behind her. So could it be that in this part of the country we do not take security as something very serious, and that's why we just...
It's good that you mentioned the state of
Israel.
We have to understand that in the state of Israel there is a law mandating everybody to have military training.
So why can't we have it here with the way the number of hundreds of people being killed?
There are a lot of things we can do that will require constitutional amendment, constitutional backing. Otherwise, we will not have a lawless country. Now, people can actually legitimately acquire firearms. Okay, there are different grades
Or firearms you can.
Apply for. Now, even though in recent years Nigerian police was trying to control that, but the truth is that you can actually acquire some of those arms legitimately, and you get license to have your own firearms. And then, of course, it's not just having firearms. You have to also understand that it comes with a lot of responsibility. What happens is entirely responsibility. So people can actually acquire arms, and there are different grades of arms. But what I suggest is you have to consult the right people so that you don't go and acquire
Exactly. Surely, right about now, this is all time can permit me to take from you. Many thanks for coming on U45 morning show, and thanks for sharing your thoughts with us this morning. Our viewers have been speaking with Bryce Eweke. He's a security expert and he's been able to do justice to the topic of discussion. But based on what he has said, let me tell you truly, his last submission, I have seen a friend that was arrested for possessing an arm. that was, used by armed robbers, and he went to prison because of that. So that's the reason for which we have to follow the right procedure for you to be armed. Let's just be hopeful that the situation in the country will get better. Right about now, I will take another short break, and it will be time for Sporting Jewel to come here and tell you what is happening in the world of sports. And this time, it will be with Solomon Osage and Shegun. Tell me when we are on. We can't see. The TV is not showing now. Alright, you're still watching U45 Morning Show. Thanks for joining us again. It's unfortunate I have to announce to you the Sporting Jewel is under the weather. And so don't worry, not to worry. Tomorrow is another beautiful day. We'll give you, we'll keep you abreast of what is happening in the world of sports. So right about now, we're going into the last segment. So this time, we're going to look at our strength and time. So, Shegun, what's going on?
All right, let's quickly start with this one. The NNPCL dismissing the report that petrol price is going to go to 1,200 per liter. Now everybody, there's fear everywhere, fear in the air. People are saying if it goes to 1,200 naira per liter, how are people going to survive? How is the barber on the roadside going to survive to cut the hair? How is the hairdresser going to fed? I mean, the people grinding pepper, how are they going to survive? Meaning, if they have to buy for 1,200 naira per liter, that means if you're grinding your pepper outside, you might be grinding your pepper for 500 naira.
No, right now we even grind pepper as huge as that. If you ask more pepper to grind now, that's 300 naira. So sometimes you don't want to go through the stress of going home and then you're blending and all that.
You might even get home and there's no light.
Okay, that's another one. And you have to put fuel in your generator to use your blender. You see, but you know what? Let me tell you something, Shegun. You see, Nigerians are very strong people. Just like they say, tough times don't last, tough people do. Yes. Nigerians will always find their way around it. You see, those who will bear the brunt of this burden is we the workers, because in all of these salaries are not being increased. Transportation, you have to pay so much. Now, if you're not careful, all of your salaries will go into feeding and transportation. And he wouldn't even talk of a wardrobe. I mean, this is New Year. If all things being equal, you're supposed to go change your wardrobe, pack what you have, and go and give to the less privileged or people in church, that's the needy, basically. But the way it is, I have to tell you, Shebu, even me, myself, I'm sorry, I have quality clothes. I'm beginning to have a rethink in having to go and throw them because what's clothing price is talking now. Oh, heaven help us.
At the moment, I was going to when he said, usually clothes you've not worn in 6 months or 1 year, you know that, okay, this one you do not need it.
Exactly.
Go and give the needy, take it to the church. But as it stands now,
you are the needy.
We're all the needy.
Oh my God.
NPCL is coming as usual to diffuse the tension, which is good. It's good political strategy. But we all know as Nigerians that tendencies are there that the price of petroleum products will go up further than what it is now. And it is quite unfortunate. Now, Nigerians are already used to, even if they are selling petrol 2,000 per litre,
we'll still buy.
Nigerians will still buy. And that reminds me of the guest that we had sometimes late last year, who said, I think it was Omakri or something like that. Amakri. That Nigerians do not go out to protest. Nigerians don't go out to demand for their... The way this country is now, we should be calling out on the government steadily. But nobody's saying anything. Again, we will say we are all afraid. It will get to a point where Nigerians will be pushed to the wall and they will have no other choice than to come out and lash on the government.
You know what, Solomon, Nigerians will never be pushed to the wall. As a matter of fact, when they are close to the wall, they will bounce back and they will not even, they won't fight for anything. You know why? You have to look at precedents. Precedences have been set before now. When people protest, what happened? The governor or government will send higher authorities. I mean, they will send what's it called? If they don't use the talks for them, they are going to use security agencies for them. So what are we talking about? But you know what? This is bad. You know why it's bad? Nigeria will always find a way around every situation. But it is bad for the nation. I hope someday we will not wake up and realize there is no more nation called Nigeria, because as they are stressing themselves, as they are trying to squeeze water out of stone in order for them to live or meet their daily demands, the truth of the matter is they are thinking of plan B. And the plan B, as it is now, is to jackpot. Everybody is jackpotting. That's the truth. Shegun, you will not tell me that if you get a US visa now, you're still going to stay. You will stay. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the traffic you face? You want to talk about to be faced with LASMA or VIO, and they're giving you tickets for you to go and pay 40,000 naira, and you ask yourself, oh my God, they tell you the road is not motorable. The question is, I mean, your car is not road ready. The question you ask is the road itself motorable? Now, who blames the government for the road that is not motorable? You understand? So I don't know, things are done upside down here. So I don't know. I just hope everybody does not leave one day.
At times, when you're driving and then this safety, but road safety at times and VIO personnel, they come to arrest you that where's your roadworthiness and why is your car light broken, why is it not showing. When you look at their own vehicle, it's a total write-off. The vehicle they're using to tell you that at times they say follow us to our station.
Can you imagine?
That same vehicle is a total write-off. I mean, how many of Nigerian police force vehicles has headlights?
My brother, you're talking about that. So what about the fact that the cars have been bashed to left and right, and that's what they are still taking around?
You understand? And then they will come and arrest you that maybe someone just bashed your car now, and you're like, look, just be going. I will go to the mechanics myself.
But you know what, Shegun, with NNPC again trying to dismiss the report of imminent increase, let me tell you, if the price of fuel increases to, they are talking about 1,000, so yes, they will dismiss it on 1,200. But if it's sold beyond 700 naira, which is 750 or 800, I will now know that indeed the World Bank is in control of Nigeria, because we have not forgotten, our memories are not so short.
Of course.
We remember that the first to propose the 750 naira per liter for fuel in Nigeria is the World Bank.
Yes.
So if they do, that's why they're putting it on all of these things are strategy. You understand?
Exactly.
They will be the one. I'm sure they call one journalist and tell journalist here and there, put it. Let's see their reaction. At the end of the day, they now come out and say, you see, you have to you just put it as just 800 naira and just.
Someone on Twitter said 1,200 naira is not the actual price. That the actual price is 900. So they want to put 1,200, and by the time they say 1,200, they will die detention. By the time they now sell for 900, like thank God, at least it's not 1,200.
Do you understand? They know how to get Nigerians.
It's crazy.
It's a strategy.
It's crazy. All right, moving on away from that. Quickly, this one, Mike Bamiloye, the evangelist, and then.
Oh wow.
It says, dear bro, can your wife send you to buy fish, okra, and vegetables when coming back from office? And then someone responded, not only buy, I cook for her and wash her clothes when I can. I mean, marriage is a union of two understanding persons. Call me woman rapper and not care.
Wow,
I love my
so
wife.
sweet.
That is the most important thing.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Shegun, yeah, there's a thin line between the two statements. He's asking if your wife can send you
to the market.
It's different from you waking up and say, my babe will be stressed, my wife will be stressed, I need to help her with this, I need to help her with this. You see, there are two different things.
Yeah, in as much as there are two different things. Now, a man that is full of pride and ego, when the wife says, honey, please, on your way home, kindly branch the market and buy me vegetables and this one. You hear the man say, what rubbish, when did that one start? My friend, will you get up there? But an understanding man will say, okay, no problem. It might not cook. It might not cook. But when they send you
purchase, he will do that. You know what, you see why I don't like African men? You see, an average, a typical African man wants to rest on his chair. He doesn't want to go anywhere. But the wife can stress herself to satisfy him, sexually and in all other areas, in terms of food and all that. And you don't know the stress she goes through. I really don't see anything wrong in it, as long as your woman respects you. Because sometimes, okay, now is that the situation of Nigeria where the wife, she's at home, she didn't go to work, she has no reason to be on the road, and you went out. Why won't you get it? At the end of the day, you need to be an African man, just ensure you're in politics so that you have some money, money to throw around. You understand me? See, when I went to get chicken at Cold Room and Turkey during this very December period, I saw a lady that came. Do you know what the husband did? The husband did not count money for her. He said, take my ATM, everything you want to buy there. Do you think that's a way of monitoring the wife spending? He didn't come himself. He knows he can come. Take my ATM. I will see the money being deducted and all that. This is what we're talking about. So if you want to be an African man and all that, just ensure you are working in a conglomerate, or you are working with you are in Nigerian politics. You understand, where you have free money so that you can easily take your eyes off it. How much is it and all that? But if you work, it's the same white collar job, then it means that you need to have your scale of preference. You need to know what is important. So if the man is coming back, nothing stops you from buying what you need to buy for your wife. It is you are going to eat and your children.
I believe it's love and understanding.
Exactly.
If you love your wife, you understand, because when you love your wife, you will know that, okay,
talking about love, Shegun, I'm sorry viewers, this is all we can take on You for the Prime Morning Show today, and it's been quite interesting so much that we don't even want to end the show. Thanks for your time this morning. Remember to join us tomorrow for another fantastic edition. I'm Adenke Oweye Ajiboye, urging you to save.
I am Osage Solomon Wilfred.
All right, and I am Shegun Dinola Adeyemi. Thank you.
And from all of us and the head of the production team, Sam Eze, and the rest of you, many thanks. Let's do this again tomorrow. It's a bye for now.